Yes. Hello students. We were talking about limit state methodology, and in limit state methodology I told you that it is beneficial because we have basically taken the advantage of both working stress design methodology and ultimate load design methodology. If you remember, in working stress design methodology, the factor of safety was applied on material properties. So we assumed that whatever material we have taken, it might have some faults into it, because of which the strength of that material is not adequate and we have to apply some factor of safeties on that material. If you remember, that factor of safety was 3 for concrete and that factor of safety was 1.78 for steel. Okay, but no such factor was applied on the loads. That is, loads were not increased in this particular design methodology. Whereas in ultimate load design methodology, we assumed that the material is perfect, so no factor was applied on materials. Rather, whole of the factor was shifted onto the loads. So whole of this factor was shifted onto the loads. That is, if I know that dead load of this structure is going to be this much, we calculated the dead load. For the designing of that element, we will not assume that dead load, but we will multiply this dead load by certain factor of safety, and we will assume the design loads by multiplying the actual loads by certain factors of safety. Okay. Now that factor of safety, I told you it was 1.5. It was 1.5 for dead load. For live load, this factor of safety was nearly 2.2 in ultimate load design methodology. Now, what is there in limit state design methodology? It assumed that okay, we'll apply some factor of safeties both to the material and to the loads. That is, we will decrease the strength of the material by applying certain factor of safety. We will increase the loads by the calculated loads by certain value by applying the factor of safety. Now, because the factor of safety was partially applied onto the material and partially applied onto the loads, these factors of safeties were known as partial safety factors. So, we are talking about partial safety factors in limit state design methodology. So, these factor of safeties were applied to both loads and materials. So, where is it mentioned? It is mentioned in that same section 5. Section 5, clause 36, characteristic and design values and partial safety factors. What does it say? It says that the materials, design strength of the material will be given by characteristic strength divided by a factor of safety. So it means, what is the design strength? It is the actual strength of that material divided by some factor of safety. Similarly, a partial safety factor was applied onto the loads. So partial safety factor on the load was the calculated load, characteristic load was increased by applying a factor of safety. Is it okay? Clear? Now, before they actually moved on to the factor of safety, they told us what do we mean by characteristic strength, what do we mean by characteristic load. Okay? Now, what is characteristic strength? Characteristic strength is the strength below which more than a minimum acceptable percentage of test results are expected to fail. IS code prescribes this minimum acceptable percentage to be 5%. What do I mean by this? Let us say I am talking about concrete. I tested 100 concrete blocks. Now what will happen? Some blocks will have a strength of 25. Some blocks will have a strength of 24. Some blocks will have a strength of 22. Some blocks might fail at a very low strength of 18, etc. Similarly, some blocks will have a strength greater than this. So an ideal curve for that 100 blocks will be a bell-shaped curve. So this is the mean value. Is it okay? This is the mean value. This is the line below which 5% of the results fall. So what we expect is that the strength should not be, we will not take the characteristic strength to be the mean strength. No, the code says we will take this strength to be the strength below which only 5% of the results fall. So FCK is the characteristic strength of that sample of concrete. So if I am talking about M25, we are basically talking about 25 megapascal as the characteristic strength of concrete. Is it okay? Similarly, it's not the mean strength. It is, what is that? It is rather the characteristic strength of concrete. Similarly, what is the characteristic load? Characteristic load has 95% probability of not being exceeded during the service lifespan. So, if I am talking about the loads, it is again a bell-shaped curve. This is the mean load. This is the value of the load after which only there is a chance, just 5% chance that the load will increase this particular value. So we will take this as the characteristic load. So whatever loads we will be talking about, we will be talking about the characteristic loads. Now once we know what is the characteristic strength, what is the characteristic load, the code further says that this characteristic load is increased by certain value to get the design load. So Fk is the characteristic load, gamma F is the partial safety factor, and Fd is the design load. Okay. Now this characteristic, this partial safety factor on the load, it is given in table 18 of the code. Given in table 18 of the code. You can see for dead load, this factor is 1.5. For wind load, this factor is 1. This is for limit state of collapse. Whereas for limit state of serviceability, this particular load factor is 1. So from this table, we take the value of partial safety factor. So partial safety factor for a combination of dead load and live load, when we are talking about limit state of collapse, this load is increased by 1.5 times. If you remember, in ultimate state design methodology, the dead load was increased by 1.5, whereas the live load was increased by 2.2. But here we are increasing this load by 1.5 only. And this increase is done only for limit state of collapse. If we are talking about limit state of serviceability, the factors are 1, 1. For wind load, we are not talking about the wind load. Okay. So this is the load factors. This is 1.5 for dead load and live load for a combination of dead load plus live load. Okay. So this is what I have written. It is in table 18. Dead load and live load. For limit state of collapse, the factor is 1.5. Whereas for limit state of serviceability, the factor is 1. Okay. Similarly, partial safety factors are applied for materials. What was that? Characteristic strength of that material, it is decreased by dividing it by certain factor of safety. And what is the value of that factor of safety? It is taken as 1.5 for concrete and it is taken as 1.15 for steel. This is very important. For concrete, for working stress design methodology, if you remember, this value was 3. Now because we are assuring ourselves that 3 is too high a value, so we have reduced that value to be 1.5. Similarly, for steel, the factor of safety that we will be applying is 1.15. Is it okay? Clear? Similarly, now let's talk about which stress strain curve do we adopt in the limit state design methodology. I have told that the stress strain curve for concrete is parabolic, where this particular strength is FCK, characteristic strength of concrete. Okay? Now, because this curve we adopted when we did test on cubes, they were not the actual structures. So for actual structures, the code says that we will reduce the strength by 0.67. So it means a factor of safety was applied to be 0.67 here, because this was just to introduce that the structure is not a cube, it is the actual structure. The strength of that structure will be different from whatever we got when we tested a cube. On this, we applied a factor of safety of 1.5, because it is given that the factor of safety for concrete is 1.5. So this will be a design curve for concrete, design stress strain relationship for concrete. Similarly, where is it given? The design stress strain relationship for concrete is given on page number 69, clause 39, under limit state of collapse, that is flexure. So this is the design stress strain curve of concrete. Similarly, the design stress strain curve for steel is this. The lower one is for mild steel, the upper one is for HYSD. So what does that? The design stress strain curve for mild steel is simply, it will be linear for certain portion and after that it will simply yield. So this is yielding. Now because we know that this particular strength is to be decreased by certain value by applying a factor of safety, so we have applied a factor of safety of 1.15. So 1 upon 1.15 becomes 0.87 Fy or sigma y. Similarly, for HYSD, you know that it is not of this type that stress is proportional to strain and then suddenly it becomes yielding. It will have yielding, but the yielding will start somewhere here and then it will slowly reach Fy. So the curve is not two straight lines, the curve is some curved line, where this is Fy and this is Fy divided by a factor of safety. Is it okay? So here in this video we talked about characteristic load, characteristic strength, partial safety factors and the basic stress strain curves of concrete and steel that will be used in limit state design methodology. Thank you.